Thank you so much for starting us out tonight, Katelin. Really enjoyed that. So you got all of my cards from this group. Like, y'all are beautiful people. Seriously, that was amazing. Also, jalapenos are like the only food that make me salivate just from hearing the word, so got me kind of loving over here. So our next reader is Autumn Hayes, who we're very, very excited to have, seriously. Autumn Hayes is a freelance writer, creative writing teacher, and poet. Her poetry, article, and short fiction have appeared or are forthcoming in the Seattle Review, Teachers and Writers Magazine, Southern Women's Review, and the microfiction anthology 140 and Counting. She has taught reading, writing, public speaking, drama, and vocational welding, that is cool, in Los Angeles, Houston, and the Mississippi Delta. She recently earned her MFA in poetry from Texas State University. Autumn.
Thank you guys for having me a lot. I like to come out and read and hear other people read, so I'm kind of sad that I just found out about this series, but hopefully I'll be able to come out and hear some more. And thank you to Maggie for inviting me and letting me know about this. I'm going to take out my phone, I'm going to put it in front of me so I can make sure I don't go too long. And like Katelin, I was thinking about what to bring to a series that is about women's experiences and giving women a forum to make our voices heard. So I want to start off with a poem that is about a woman in my life. It's about my mother, but I think a lot of us can probably tap into this experience. If you can't yet, I hope you never have to, actually. It's called Iconoclasm on Christmas night. And anyway, what makes a woman? Athena, Nike without her grave, eyes, Aphrodite sans arms, both stunning beats. But what good's headless wisdom and armless love? Even those earliest Christians' mother didn't do this. Topple grave, and images smash, stone on rock, pour the gore, gone on grass, yes. Hammer perpendicular noses, yes. Leave the face agape, yes. But pull the blue seam of womb from between hip bones. Pluck the scalp down to pockmarks. Soot the soul and finger. Nails lock the damn breast last. Of all I'm supposed to say, mother, this is a minor catastrophe, but when in the next room, the trip down of metal on metal reminds me and you were carved a bit, left of you to shape, and the chemical orange snakes through you, pores and vein. When the last of your mane tumbles, taking exile over death, breaths behind breath, and I wonder if metal is a sound or dread, and if they are the same, a snip, what space I've carved for you to topple to. What museum I want to, mother, cut your hair for you. And then the next poem is for another woman in my life. It again will become clear who this is. It's called Back to the Head, and some of you who are here probably heard it before, so you'll just hear it again. Back to the head. Back to the head, stone of my grandfather's grave feeling. So this is the opposite of feeling. Granted. So this is the man who scattered my grandmother's teeth, his seed, as carelessly. So this is the man they called Joseph and wept for, or at least his last wife used his last name in place of a familiar so that he became Joseph. As in, if you're calling for Joseph, this ain't his phone. And then the machine clicked. Open silence for whoever wasn't calling for Joseph. As in the distance between violence and voice left room for her worked husband, Willie Love, to appear. in picture frame, improbable name lipped from first to last syllable when my aunt waddled down to clean out her dead dad's dead last wife's desk at the life insurance firm. She kept him. Where my grandmother wouldn't or couldn't and beat him to the tall grown ground I stand on now, his, parallel and opposite. Winds bend the blades of grass on both graves, the ways I will not bend. Will he love? Did she feel the hymn of him ever? Did he, my grandfather, or I? Or did he beat her too? This dead woman who needed to distance herself from the man she spent 20 years chasing with machine messages, with masquerades, with finally the grave calling, this must be the way. The messenger felt when it first clapped flesh around itself to wrestle Jacob. A body, machine clicked shut to do its work. The only truth is feeling, and this must be how both felt, rolling in the dust. How do you handle a body that burns to touch? A body you don't want to destroy. And then came Joseph, the dreamer, Jacob's favorite child who scattered the tribes. And then I have a couple more. One is long because I tend to write long poems. So actually the last two that I'm thinking about are long. So started at 8:17. Have a little time. I'll see if I can do both. One is like a medium length poem. It's not actually long. It's called The Lips Are Coming Off. And I got the inspiration to write this poem one day when I was walking around the track, thinking about my weight and how to lose it like we women often do. And there's this woman who walks in front of me. And I'm like, man, she looks great. And I had one of those thoughts that probably a lot of us women have, and we say them sometimes. And because it's not literal, it's just a metaphor. We're like, oh man, she looks great. I wish I had her hips. Oh, I wish I had her ass. She looks so good. And then I started thinking, what if there were a world where that could actually happen? So this one is called The Lips Are Coming Off. And I actually found a quote in the New York Times. It was about people getting eyebrow implants. And this is a real quote from a real woman who is only 28 years old. And it says, I hear girls in the office saying to each other, you have the best eyebrows. But nobody ever said that to me. I was desperate for a permanent solution. The lips are coming off. 10. December, we enter a winter room buzzing with cracked nerves and homespun scarves. She stares, her twisted face a puzzle from the opposite wall. This pewter-headed hawk puff who's messaged me streams of niceties about my elbow dents and balked 50 times. She licks her lips, checks mine, and nods, as promised, as is. Patent pink kitten heels click down on thick world tiles, the clatter of this is easy, and she is. She wriggles free her puckered mouth and plants it in my face. Lone lover smashing cake, and then I'm off. Wobbly smile to practice sipping caramel macchiato through this new kisser which tingles. With fennel seeds and wintergreen, though she need no trouble, I feel her. Watch me. The traces of cell breath, connection, vestigial between her face and the lips I take, ring dyingly as she struggles to open the face pain I've left her. Mug smooth below the nose, she's lucky I left her, too. The stolen bits twitch out to call for help, or me, who cannot even say I do, my best not to laugh at her through her own crayon teeth. I use Roman numerals, so I have to. 47. They say they're cheaper than plastic, surgery less barbaric, these coffee house meetings of ours. No more silent covetousness, no more grinding teeth over unreachable jeans as they saunter by. Simply email and sing 300 pairs of armpits to wield at the office party. They say it's not so bad really. Bloodless, yes, but pain-free? No. Little snaps, clasps, click tight in the bone. They say, no, I don't really worry about disease. They say, thank God for that sister from Tulsa, what first fell apart in the cereal aisle, for that 9-year-old girl, what stuck her back together, what discovered. They say these risks will be all the rage come summer. They say, let's re-meet, let's swap again, you let me know where my mouth has been. They say, I just want a piece of you, or they don't. They say, I'll sue. They say everything, anything for a piece, always and only a piece. How they've taught me. 0. A crisp fall, harvest season. Slim fingers are in. A surrealist sculptor, mostly bronze, plaster cast, seeks my knee dimples only for art. The community college basketball court, abandoned. This me is not yet this me. This she much older, more grouse-like than her profile, wrong hair, all pumpkin and pomegranate dye, swings wild. And this we do, teeters, nameless. She giggles, grimacing gamely as she leans, creaks the bleacher, unvarnished. I detach each slender knuckle and pull them in her palm like wedding rings. We go hand in hand, she gargles. My knees flex to her will, her head falls back for a deep, rasp breath. Her faux red mane aside, slicing down whose jugular. And I reach to sweep a strand, sweat stained to the throat she may have stolen from a man, and jolt. And remember, my finger joints are gone, tingling down her pockets, palms shorn to their lifelines, like paint knives, I'll say later, but really, bald stumps, reaching, and she laughs. I think an iron-free laugh. It is a lovely laugh, a lovely throat. I never see her again. 3,709. I think sometimes I spot my kneecaps hopping through a field of poppies or dashing for a cab. A glimmer caught beneath a wrinkled skirt, but really, parts are cheap. It's the labor what eats you. And I have this here bone pile to curate. My own collection of selves to make. Resemble someone you want, to trust, to look like or be, and take apart. Let them try to catch me. They can't even watch me. By now, it's breathtaking, the larceny. And I think I have time for the last one. How are you? Are you guys okay? Are you like tired of hearing my voice? Because I'm a little tired of hearing it. But I'll do one more. This one is a long one. Turn around in a circle or something between sections. I don't know. It's called Sieges, and things you might need to know are just matryoshka, are those nested dolls. You've probably seen them if you've seen anything about Russia at all. Woman, 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 tiny, 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 until it's like this big. And let's see, anything else you need to know? There's a few lines from the Iliad kind of busted up in here, but they're not in Greek, so No problem. Let's see. That's probably it. That's probably all you need to know. Russia and Greek. It's called Sieges. For BJ, who turns 14 this year. For Tamir, who won't. And for Xavier, who has to. 1. And this is a poem for St. Petersburg, Matroshka, who stares scalpel through tendon, sea to muscle bone, to pale and pink, sad necessity to be biological, seen, instead of a ghost thing, projected on and tethered by the string of the skin. 2. And all summer long, I'll be reading the Iliad, wondering if I am pregnant and thinking, poor Achilles, how I hate you, and wish the river Scamandros had swallowed you whole and spared poor Hector. Poor, rich, blustering Hector, the harried, trapped family man. For now I grab my love's hand and barrel down Nevsky Prospect, that street barrel that leads to the sea. 3. Nevsky Prospect is whisk and needle of heels on concrete. Canal boats trim Pontaki with foam and ferment and a brisk and endless sun-filled summer sky. White nights from now, this May to July. But the setting is always really 2 tiny black suns awash in green skies of eye. Despite themselves, pushing wide, or blue, or brown. The face I face now stares as if to dig up bone, fragments, structures, familiar to her. White skull, pink cheek, muscle below the unknown, darkness. She stares as if my skin were green as her eyes. She stares so hard she's forgotten to sell me Matroshka, the nested dolls of woman inside of woman after woman, inside the body of a bowl-hipped woman. Babushkas inside babushkas who bear the tribe, inside, hidden, babushka, Matroshka, family. She's forgotten to sell me a hidden, painted family, like all the other vendors on Nevsky. I want to reach out, to touch the plane of her face with a hard or soft finger, but I don't. All I carry with me is present, not past, and perpetually future. 4. Today a white woman looked at me, really looked at me for the first time, I'll say. This may or no today, 10 white women looked at me. No, really, for me, for the first time. Their gazes smack in my face as they search for the human being holding the hand of a white man on Nevsky Prospect, rooted under my skin for structures familiar to them, to know white bone, pink cheek, muscle beneath the darkness. That's how I'll remember today to my love. He'll be tenderly puzzled by this sweet invasion. He won't understand what it's like not to exist in the eyes of a woman who might be my mother or murderer in another time and place. He don't understand, God bless him, the thrill of being both sought and found. My forearm muscles split to life by stairs that bore through skin and leave me bone, white and muscle pink, biological, trembling in the space between me and Nevsky Prospect. 5. And when did I learn to see with my ears, to grope into blinding obscurity, or to ignore what I love for fear someone would take it just because those closest to me, by skin and by kin, ask, what are you doing? Reading those old, dead, white men flying to Russia. And there stare these stranger eyes. Do they lack stories to fit me into, prepared for that purpose, or do I imagine a difference. They search for my story, mine and my face, as I do theirs. What we, they, I, he fear, that he, she, we, me will shrink into the host of our own comrades, companions, champions. 6. I once had to pull 2 black girls off another. One, my 14-year-old students, snarling like cats on a trash heap. Tell her for to stop looking all up in my face, Katelin, nearly all tears, exclaimed, her breath short, her overgrown bosom heaving, and I understood. How long have we here, in this country or any other, like dogs, known that contact is power? How long has it been legal to eyeball a white man or woman who can see through your false exterior to your false because she is you somewhere inside? Power is making sure no one has to die. 7. And then there are certain slants of eye or lags, rage, saying goddess, of Peleus' son, of Achilles' ruinous wrath that slap the air out your chest or suck it slowly, that put boundless pain to countless Achaeans and many heroic souls sent to the unseen place. There are New York women who slit or slide their eyes to the side of your head or behind you, to a past, to say 1950, and dark-skinned gents who scream at the fawn-eyed man who holds your hand as you walk to the subway. It made them spoil. For dogs and gift shop attendants who snarl, lift partial lips like flags half-ripped, canines exposed, and a feast. And those who look for you, to tell them they've looked for you before and again, will not be doing it for the birds. And these are those who never know. They don't see you at all, in line for a Dr. Pepper at a football game, next in the human family. And Zeus's plan was accomplished. Yet, I am you, and you are I. And we all exist through a human eye, like camels pack the water to survive inside ourselves. 8. Yes, I have known Katelin's wrath, have felt the fear rage heat my skin to armor. How dare you look at me, nappy, black, young, straight, wavy-haired, old, yellow, woe man, or poor, rich, middle-class, American, African-American, living and stolen, yet it's not what you see that we fear, but what you'll do with me. Achilles, would you be pleased with how close I hold my hurt between my breast and self? We know your armor and rage and name. Achilles means tribe of trouble or people of pain. I pat my still flat belly and tell the daughter I can't bear yet or name in a whisper. 9. Achilles, we had an early year in St. Petersburg, like you by your ships, described by Homer as swift and black, though the white northern nights are mostly gray. The sun never sets, but sinks to a thickened cloud skin, elephant loose above the navel. Pewter as the skinheads crawl out to prowl, the skinheads who forked their double lightning Nazi fingers at me at 6 in the morning. The skinheads, the guidebooks warn me about we stay in at night. The skinheads, all they see is skin in their heads. Dumbasses, my love says, and laces up steel-toed boots and holds me firmly while I sob myself dry on Pontaki Canal. What is night? What is morning here where light and darkness are never so different? Achilles, you thought of your father mourning, you and your son, just after your Patroclus died. Your Patroclus, whose loss you mourned as you burned him. Patroclus, whose name means father's glory. Whom you mourned as a father for child. Patroclus, who put on your armor and fooled no one. There was no return for you. You knew the choice, to stay and fight beside the bounding walls of the sun-god city. To trade in your home, to mingle your bones with Patroclus, be damned the glory. Or daughter, deathward in the land of your fathers. Slowly, you knew hell too, as a universal, unseen place. 10. Well, I was 33, now 34. Once divorced, American, Black, a woman, to butchers born, and my name means a time to reap, an air of cool and flaming, field and leaves and squashes, autumn of unknown origin to scholars as a word, also comes from a tomb, the Egyptian horizon, the meeting place of light and land, born from the leave-taking of earth and chaos or none, or from the setting sun that rides through the underworld each night in its neat little boat. Each day the dead digging a canal for him, unfazed. And as for Hayes, I come from Cameroon, Congo, Togo, Ireland, Wales, St. Petersburg, Finland, Ghana, Africa, America, Mexico, Spain. I'm a mutt that you can't tame, and so are you. Some of the blood in my veins was taken, some given freely, as with and from you. I cannot divide my soul from my flesh, from my life on this side of my eyes, and neither can you. I cannot split the damage to one from the damage to another, and neither can you. You cannot pluck out the threads of my pain from the weave of my life, and neither I you. But we can mine each other for structures familiar. Achilles, Hunahpu's 1 and 2, Blood Woman, Death Lords, Audrey Lord, Whitman, Homer, Hughes, Homeland, and Alien 2. Rages, haunts, familiars, patterns, curiosities, meets, breads, junctures, olives, and epic connections and questions. Question, why do we need Crystalline's weave of ancestral names and her name to matter? Less than Helen's, her tresses, or Achilles? And when will these questions matter in the manner of marble? Statues of icons past their prime and set in stone and chipped and crumbled. Nose is gone, arms gone, no more reach. Finally, who will it take? Me? Bastards. 11. Back home, the storm cycling, round and round. The roof, the antebellum mansions caved in. America, there was never a time before war, never a time after, and in the midst of the rain and howl and wind, Black mothers give birth to premature women, and men who grow up to not grow up, who come home to not come home. And this means different things for you and me, America. Thirsting and hungry, demonized, explosions of 16 rounds in their backs, hot, screaming, peeled steel, and if there's one drop, him. Of black blood, skin, on, in them they go, out for candy and never come back. Please about how dare we demand less for ourselves and more for our children, unborn and untorn, yet 12. This Matryoshka seller sells me her wide searching eye. This particular woman articulating a woman inside a woman, piece by piece, hair down, and I smile at her, and her gaze meets the ground, ashamed to be caught, staring, I hope, rudely. But now she knows I can see her, and I know she can see me if she chooses. The woman, inside the woman, and I am waiting to see. Achilles, Achilles, this must be the prey, the confusion of joys you felt, arrow free. From the menace twin, myth doppelganger proceeding, you on a skin thread of heal, hell, or need. To heal back to life, half human or dying. In the sunland where waiting's the best you can be.